So it's the night before we're gonna make pizza, and we already had dinner tonight, cleaned up the kitchen, and now it's time to make pizza dough. It's really simple. We're gonna start with 500 grams of flour. This is a special Italian flour. You just look for the Tipo 00. There's tons of them at the grocery store. I get it on Amazon, whatever. 500 grams of flour, 2 tablespoons olive oil, a couple, I think 1 gram of yeast, some salt, and water. The chef, Pasquale Cozzolino, the best, taught me how to make this. Today we are making homemade pizza. The water's lukewarm. We're going to start with the olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. Get that in there. The yeast, it's going in there too. It's not a ton of yeast. This isn't like a really bubbly dough. Salt's going in. And then we'll start putting in the oil. I can smell the yeast already, like mixing up with the water and stuff. We're gonna put in about 1/3 of this. Just kind of getting this wet a little bit. You know, other people put the wet in the dry. I don't know, Pasquale taught me this way. Now we're gonna put in about another 1/3 of the flour. Get that incorporated. Just trying to keep it from being too lumpy. And also, like, depending on the weather, depending on a bunch of stuff I don't really understand, it can be too wet, it can be too dry. So as exacting as this can be, you never know, you might need to add a little flour or add a little water or whatever. Last of the dough is going in. It's kind of looking kind of shaggy. Gonna get it all mixed in there as best we can. Okay, I'm gonna wipe down this. I wash my hands. I promise I'll wash my hands. Counter's clean. I'm gonna put a little bit of flour out here just so it doesn't stick. It probably won't stick anyway, but I'm just gonna turn this. Some of that flour will come with it. Now we're gonna make sure this all kind of comes together into a dough. And I'm gonna get it going. I might need to put a little more flour. It's kind of sticky right now, I can tell by the way it feels in my hands. And that's gonna eventually go away. And you just kind of keep rolling around. If you need to add a little flour, like, it's not really sticking to my hands too badly, so that means we're in pretty good shape. And I'm just gonna stand here, and if you weren't here with me, I'd have some music on, might have something, you know, handheld next to me to make sure my thirst is quenched. It's been 6-7 minutes, something like that. You can see the colors change a little bit and the textures change. It's smoother. I'm not putting any more flour on it. It's doing well right now. So at this point, I've been working it for a while, and this is hard work. I'm a little bit out of breath. It's also kind of meditative. You kind of lose yourself a little bit and you can think about other stuff, but it's in a good place right now. So I'm gonna take this dough and let it rest, let it chill out for about 15 minutes. So what we'll do is I'm gonna spray a little bit of olive oil or whatever this spray is in this bowl so it doesn't stick. And then put this guy in there. Cover it with a towel, and in 15 minutes, it'll be ready to go. Stick in the fridge overnight. The dough's been resting 15 minutes. Hasn't really risen because there's not that much yeast in it, and there's nothing to really activate the yeast, but it should be a little easier to handle. You can see it's a little softer. So what we'll do now is cut this in half, and cut those in half. Try to make it like 4 equal sized pieces. And then each one is gonna be a pizza. So what I do is you're gonna roll it on this counter and you kind of make a claw, and you use the tension from this and your hand to make it into a little ball, almost like a cue ball if you're playing pool. All right, last one here, and I think we're good. So that goes in with the other 3. And then This is all gonna go, I'm gonna cover it with plastic wrap, a little bit of spray to make sure it doesn't stick. Go in the fridge overnight, and tomorrow, a couple hours before Sunday dinner, we'll yank it out, let it warm up a little bit at room temperature, and we're ready to go. It's a day later, the dough is out of the fridge. I took it out a couple hours ago, let it sit. You can see they're bigger a little bit. At this point, they're kind of room temperature. They're pretty spongy. The parts I didn't cover perfectly are a little kind of tough, but they'll be fine. One other thing, I turned on the oven an hour ago at 500 degrees, which is pretty hot. And inside here, you'll see the one thing you need is a pizza stone. I've had that thing 3, 4, 5 years. When I'm not using it, I just put it on the very bottom of the oven and just leave it down there. But that's what the pizza's gonna cook on. That's what ensures like a flat crust, cooked all the way across, brown on the edges. It'll be really good. You can get those super cheap, they'll last forever. Now we get to make pizza. This is the best part of it. All right, so I'm gonna use a cookie sheet. You could use like a pizza peel, lots of different things. I'm just gonna use this cookie sheet because it's flat. I'm gonna put some flour on here because you wanna make sure that the pizza doesn't stick to it. Now we're gonna take one of these doughs, and it's really soft, look at that. And I'm not even gonna have to really roll it out or anything. It's gonna be nice and soft from being out of the fridge for a little bit. I'm just using my fingertips to kind of push it away. There's some little air bubbles in there. But this will make like a little personal pizza. Just get it relatively flat. I'm already got flour all over me. It's gonna happen, so just deal with it, it washes out. Now for toppings, I'm checking, it's good. This is just tomatoes, crushed tomatoes that were left over from when I made pasta the other night. You don't want a ton of it, like literally like 2 spoonfuls would probably be enough. I'm just kind of getting it out near the edges. That's over the edge, but I'll be fine. Might burn a little bit. And then cheese. I have some mozzarella cheese left over. I have the great kind of mozzarella cheese. I have the kind that comes in a block too, but I think this will work fine to start with. If we run out, we'll try the other kind. I'm just gonna put a couple little blobs of it down here. In the oven, it's gonna cook and go out to the edges. I'm gonna slide this guy onto the tray, onto the stone. Close the thing. Shut it. About 5 minutes, it'll be good. Pizza's been cooking 5 minutes. I think that's a lot faster than if you call somewhere and order it to get delivered, but I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. 5 minutes later, look what we got. I don't know, but that looks kind of awesome. We're gonna let it sit here and chill for a little bit. It's had a chance to cool off now. I didn't want the bottom to kind of get soggy by sitting on a flat surface, but I'm gonna put it on this cutting board. I keep it pretty simple. Just a little basil, just tear it up, drop it on there. If you put it in the oven, it would cook and burn and not be good. This way you get kind of a fresh taste. Also, as always, green things look nice on food. That's it. I'm gonna grab this little pizza cutter. Now we get to eat. This is the best part. Time to eat. You see it's cooked all through. It's got a nice color around it. Bottom's nice and crisp. It is so good. I lived in New York for a long time. This is like New York style pizza with the mozzarella. It's really hot still. The crust is perfectly chewy. Still got crisp on the bottom. You taste the basil, the tomato. It's very clean tasting, and it's fresh. And took a little bit of work last night, and then 15 minutes tonight. You can make your own pizza. It's easy. This is Cooking with Lane. Make pizza. Make it. Do it.